Hey there, it's Christine with Simple Machines, and I'm just going to show you a couple of quick things that I have found that people really appreciate in HubSpot training. I do a lot of training, and this is one little tidbit that I share with people, and they're often like, oh, I had no idea that that was even an option to do this, and it's pretty handy. So the first one is about notes. So I've pulled up my colleague's record in here because this is our demo portal, so all this is just kind of made up, but we'll work with it. So you have your activity feed, right? And you know, as you work with a person, this starts to get pretty crowded with all kinds of things. Notes are one thing that you can put in here that are pretty handy. And I'm going to just create a new note. You can see there's already one in here, but I'm going to go ahead and do another one. There we go. It's always fun to have people watch you type, right? Sample note for video. All right. One thing that people do not realize that you can do is that you can tag somebody in a note. So you could tag somebody else that you want to be sure sees this. So say you're on the phone to somebody and you get some interesting little tidbit, or you maybe read something about a company that you know they're working with, or something like that, and you're not going to see them for a few days, you want to be sure it's documented somewhere, you could leave a note in that record. Notes are something that the clients are not ever going to see unless you're screen sharing with them. And so this is a good place to do that sort of thing. So say I had some, juicy tidbit about the company. I could go in here and then I could tag somebody. I'm going to tag Charlie. So you do it just like this, using the @ like you tag people in other places. That's how you tag people on social media and such. So you just @ and then when you create the note, it will send them a notification, which is really nice. That way you know they got it, right? Okay, a couple other things with notes. You can pin a note to the top of the record. That way, you see what I just did? It puts it on top of the entire record. And you can also unpin, just like that. Because otherwise everything in this record is going to be in reverse chronological order, right? So sometimes that's not the best way to have things work. So I just pinned that note to the top, and now it's going to be at the top of the entire activity feed, okay? The other thing about notes that you might not know is you can just add to them. Anytime you want, you can add to these. You just click that little pencil and it will add whatever it is. Some companies I've worked with have used this as sort of a running highlights or greatest hits type thing. Maybe all of the big connections or the meetings that had, actual progress or were very productive. Maybe they'll just write a little note and just maybe have a running total, or they'll put in, left a message for them, finally connected, the date, whatever, those types of things. So you can just keep a running total. The other thing that you can do is you can have a conversation right here in the note. So say Charlie read the juicy tidbit about the company that I had put in here, and he wrote something to me, and I wanted to say something back, like let's discuss next week, maybe something like that. Okay, so you can leave comments, and then he could go back and you can discuss it back and forth right here in the note. You can actually do that with any of the activities. You can do it with emails, calls, meetings. You can edit them. You can add the conversation to it, or the comments they're called. You can also pin the calls or the meetings or the emails to the top of the record. So to pin, you just go up in here to actions and click pin. To unpin, you unpin, like so. All right, so that's that. And the other thing I wanted to show you is something about segments that I think is kind of interesting and kind of handy. And this is a newer thing, or at least it was newer to me. And I was making a list for a client this morning, and it was great. So when you made lists before, you had to take every group in that listing and say you wanted to get rid of everybody who was unsubscribed or whatever. I went ahead and I started making this list earlier because I knew I was going to make this video. And so this is my little sample list that I made for today. And let's just say that I wanted to be sure that I got rid of all of the unsubscribed and bounced emails in this list, okay? And again, this is our demo portal, so this isn't real contacts. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna edit this list. And see how I have all these different groups and all these different segment memberships? So I'm basically taking a bunch of lists and combining them into this one. Well, normally, or in the past, you would have to go into each group and add, they're not a member of unsubscribed, bounces, what have you. You have to do that in every group. And in this one, I have 4 groups, and that would take a lot of time and irritate me, right? So now there's this handy dandy little exclude contacts down here at the bottom. So if you click that, then you can choose the other lists or even individual contacts. Like say you wanted to be sure you didn't send it to yourself or your coworkers. You could go in here and you could choose actual contacts, or you can choose lists. So instead of having to go into every group, I could do my unsubscribes, for instance. Unsubscribe from all email. I want to exclude them. Why is it not clicked? There we go. And let's do the bounces. I think I called it hard bounce. I did. So instead of having to go in and add that to every group, I just do it here. And you can see it excluded somebody who was on those lists. This is a demo portal, so I don't have a lot to work with, but I think you get the gist. So anyway, I hope those couple of little tips help you and that you can put those to work and maybe make your life a little easier. Oh, and be sure you save your changes when you're done with your list. I almost forgot to do that. Thanks.